Hey guys, gals, and MBs. So I am here with the Arturia collection or the Arturia V collection X, and I'm going to go over if it is right for you and if it's worth the $300 that it is right now on sale for Black Friday, or even if it's worth the full price, which I think is like $600. I think it's $599. So yeah, let's just kind of go over it. I will say, at least for me personally, I think it is definitely worth it because there was at least 3 synths out of here that I wanted, and they were about 150 to $200 a piece anyway. So I just got the collection, and that worked out really well in my favor. But there's some hidden gems in here. We're not going to go deep diving on each instrument. I'm going to make separate videos on the instruments I really like, and I hope you follow me along for the journey when I make those videos. But we'll go over the ones that really stood out to me, the ones that I really got it for. Let's just go over the Jupiter 8. None of us are going to be able to afford one of these. I mean, even if I could afford one of these, it's like, why? It's a great synth, but it's going to be it's a very old synth by now. It's going to require a lot of maintenance, and spending something like 50, I think they're $50,000 or $60,000. That is just maddeningly insane. So that's like what, like a one teenage engineering product? No, I'm just kidding. God, that new synth they released, that is stupidly priced. I just can't believe people are shilling that thing. That said, yeah, so this emulation is awesome. I've had a boutique. I am familiar with the layout and how they work. So yeah, I really, really like this. So instead of me blabbing about it, let's listen to it. I have the harp patch pulled up here. If I could play properly, but it has a nice bit of warmth and everything. I'm not too familiar with the layout of it as much as I used to be, so I'm not going to make any custom patches really off the bat. I'll do that with some of the Oberheim stuff, because the OB-xa, I had the Behringer one for a while, so I kind of know how that one's laid out. But yeah, a lovely sounding synth. I guess it would be a great synth for pads, but let's hear. Oh yes, absolutely gorgeous. Supermassive, you can see in the background, I don't have any gauged right now, but we'll use that with some of the Oberheim stuff, because Oberheim stuff and reverb, geez. If you use anything Oberheim dry, I don't want to be your friend. And of course, we have a pan spread and everything. I love pan spreads, if you know what I always say with the Oberheim stuff. You have that. I don't think the original had a pan spread. Did the original Jupiter 8 have a stereo out? I thought it was mono. Yeah, like I said, I'll never be able to afford one. Oh, Halcyon is nice. Let's turn on our Supermassive. Apologies that my keybed doesn't have aftertouch. I really need to get another keybed with polyphonic aftertouch. Now they sell that Korg one. That might be the large controller I'm going to get. I have a 25 key Novation launch key right now, which is perfect for my current setup where I do demos, and it has a sustain in, which I'll be using later. But yeah, 90s mellow pad. Oh, we still have Supermassive on. I don't know. It doesn't sound very mellow. Sounds cool. So advanced, let's go over some of the advanced stuff. Usually these instruments, all of them seem to have built-in effects, so you won't have to use an external reverb or something, but I highly recommend you just get Supermassive. It's free. Or you get that delay plugin that I was using the other day. What's it called? I'm going to go in my settings. It is just called Delay by like Sixth Sample or something like that. I'm bringing it up. Why is that coming up again? Oh, I accidentally brought up 2 Supermassives. Let's not do that. Let me remove one. All right, so it is, yeah, this thing. Sixth Sample. That thing is awesome. I'd highly recommend that too if you don't want to use Valhalla, but they're both free, so just pick one or pick both. They're cool. All right, yeah, that said, you usually have built-in reverbs. Most of them are absolutely garbage. The reverbs go, at least in the Arturia stuff. The delays are generally great, and the choruses are generally great. So like here, let's just, I mean... And some of the ones even let you use a chorus from the Juno 6, which is cool. Not all of the built-in ones do. I wish the Jupiter had the Juno 6 chorus in the soft synth, but, you know, it is what it is. But here, the reverb, yeah, it's not great. Yeah. I don't really like it. It's not bad in a pinch, but again, just throw Supermassive on everything. That should be the answer. But yeah, the delays are generally good. Let's look at the delay. They're pretty simple. Usually have ping pong. And you can sync them, obviously. So yeah. Let me bring that up a little. Guess it's taking up a lot of screen real estate. But yeah, absolutely awesome soft synth. I love the Jupiter emulation. It is gorgeous and fantastic and highly recommended. So let's go over to some of my favorites, which are obviously Oberheim synths. If you're a longtime viewer of the channel, you know how much I like the sound of Oberheims, just not so much the build quality of some of their newer stuff. But yeah, let's go into the, let's do the SEM. Everybody loves the SEM filter, right? People say that, like, I've heard people say that the SEM filter is like polarizing, but I haven't really found anybody that hates the SEM filter. Do you hate the SEM filter? Are you bad people? Yeah, kind of that deal. So let's go to pads. This one had a really cool one I was listening to the other day. It was called something fat, like fat. Oh man, was it Ober? Here we go. Oh, Ober thick, but it should be with 2 C's, of course, right? Oh, you know what? Yeah, let's turn on. No, I had it off. This thing is such amazing sounding. I mean, it's not dry. It has built-in chorus and delay. So again, this has delay and chorus built into the soft synth, but I'm not gonna go over each individual instrument like in depth. Like I said, we'll make individual videos of the ones I really like, but let's go over some of the cool functions this thing has. So you know that I love pan spread, being pan anyway. I love pan things, so that was a joke. Anyway, we go over to the effects section. Let's make sure everything is off. Yeah, everything is turned off. But we have this 8-voice programming mode, and what we can do is here, we have a center spread, right? So what if we want to emulate the pan spread of a modern Oberheim synth? Go into VCA pan. Well, I guess I shouldn't even say modern. The OB-xa had the ability to pan the voices, right? So yeah, let's do VCA pan. And now what we do is we turn it on, and here each voice will have a separate function. I mean, by default, it's like VCF frequency, so each voice will sound a little duller than the other, kind of like a real SEM where you have to individually program each module. So each voice is basically programmed individually. Look up a SEM, the Oberheim SEM. It's not just one module. It depends on how many voices you have, and then you have each voice is its own synth. But yeah, and then you have a special keyboard that can control them all. You just can't control all of the voice parameters as far as I know. So yeah, so now we're going to draw, each voice is going to be separate. If you see down here, each voice is going to light up as we go to it. Turn off voice spread. Yeah, that really has the SEM filter style to it. Let's turn up the resonance. Let's get some killer resonance going. Turn on Supermassive really quick. Oh, I really need a keyboard with aftertouch. Either way. Gorgeous, right? Absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, lots of cool things you can do with it. Lovely interface. I love these interfaces because they model the real, or close enough to the real thing, so they're easy to use like a real thing. Yeah. So let's go over to one of my other favorites, one that I have familiarity with the interface at least. So let's go to an OB-xa. Let's go here, Arturia. Let's find the OB-xa V. So I guess they call it the OP-xa because it's the original. All right, so I'm just going to, we're not going to do the jump thing. I don't like Van Halen. Yeah, sue me over that. Oh, do we have, yep, Supermassive is still on. I love other users of the Oberheim stuff like Geddy Lee, obviously with Tom Sawyer, but not Van Halen. All right, that said, all right, so we have our init patch, and since I am familiar with the interface for obvious reasons of owning a clone at one point, that was a terrible clone, but whatever. We'll use that later in a second. By default in the init patch, we already have a little bit of detune on the second oscillator. Let's bring in the second oscillator. You absolutely do not need a chorus for this thing. You can add one in post, and it has a decent, like I said, sounding chorus. All of it's off right now, but you really don't need it. And we have a built-in pan spread, which is nice to use. It has a stereo mode too. The stereo mode is sounds very nice. You can set its parameters right here, so you can set what makes it stereo, like have a little bit of movement. It's kind of like a chorus, but not really. But I like the pan mode, so we're going to turn up the spread, and then each individual voice we can pan to different sides. Let me know if you know of a good rotary encoder MIDI controller. I know the Novation one exists, but I've heard it's very cheap and badly built, so. Potentially if you know of one with a rotary encoder and faders, and not the Behringer one either. So yeah. Gorgeous, right? All right. Well, let's hear. I believe this one is a Curtis filter, so let's hear that resonance in two-pole mode, shouldn't we? So let's bring down the frequency. Let's bring up this. The mod for the filter actually indicates that it's going to use the filter envelope. So. Gorgeous, right? Let's add some Supermassive to it. Amazing. All right, let's go to another instrument that I didn't think I was actually going to enjoy, not because I don't like the original instrument. I love the original instrument, but I didn't think it would add too much to it because we're in a day and age of samplers being so ubiquitous and easy to do in software. You really need a sampler. So yeah, let's do the Fairlight CMI emulation. And myself being a fairly large Kate Bush and yeah, just I love Kate Bush's music. You're gonna obviously know that the CMI was used quite. I think she was one of the original purchasers in the UK on one of these, alongside a few other people. But you'll know this patch, right? I'm not gonna play the song, but yeah, you'll know that patch. But yeah, I like the jankiness of this thing, and it's a full emulation. You can do all the cool stuff with it. It is very advanced. But yeah. Also, I'm a huge Peter Gabriel fan, and I believe he was the first customer in the UK to have a Fairlight CMI. He used it on his 4th album, I believe. But yeah, so if you like Kate Bush and you like Peter Gabriel, you know, you should like the CMI. But like I said, it's basically a sampler. I mean, it does some weird FM and this, like spectral stuff as well that has the spectral synth and stuff. But at the heart of it, it was one of the first commercially successful samplers, as far as I know. I mean, obviously I have the synclavier, and you have a synclavier in here too. We'll go to that next. But yeah, I like this more than I should because, again, it's just a sampler and I could just use samples. But it's it has its character, and it's cool to have it in the collection. I wouldn't buy it by itself, but now that I have the collection, I might actually use it. Yeah, we'll go to the other thing that nobody that probably watches my channel will ever be able to afford. I can definitely not afford one, and if I could, why would I? Because these things are notorious to have to service all the time, and that is Yamaha CS-80. But we have one now, and it sounds damn good. So I have to always make sure Supermassive was off, so this has some built-in effects. Love to learn how to use it, so maybe I'll sit down and do this. I'll maybe do a deep dive video, at least as deep as I want to go with it. I really need to get a poly aftertouch controller though for this, don't I? Ooh, analog harp. Let's see what it sounds like. Actually gorgeous, right? And I should have said, at least on the SEM, you know how SEMs come in multiple module configurations? Like, I think by default it emulates the 8 voice. But at least with the SEM, you could go up to like 32 notes of polyphony. This can only go up to 8, but I guess you could just run multiple instruments. And I should state that the efficiency of these, are, at least on an M1 processor, was really good so far. I haven't run into any like major issues. Just let me open this up. Let's see if I can bring this up here. We'll bring it over here. So you can see at least the CPU usage. This is on an M4 Pro, but let me just turn on Supermassive. It's going to sound kind of weird with a pluck patch, but okay, I take that fully back. That sounds gorgeous. All right, so yeah, I haven't dived into this too much. Oh, the PWM pad. Let's see that. Yeah, gorgeous, of course, right? Oh, yeah, let's hear some Supermassive with that. Obviously, we could do Blade Runner shit with this, can't we? I kind of want to get the Arturia. I think I said that earlier. Maybe I want to get the Arturia FX collection because it has a really good a lexicon emulation in it. Probably one of the best I've heard. But I don't know if I want to spend $250 on that. And I've already spent $300 on this, but maybe. I mean, God, that's not even the price of a boutique guitar pedal, is it? I mean, I think out of that collection, I would use the delays for sure. The Bucket Brigade delay, I would definitely use the Tape Echo, the RE201 emulation, and I would use the Lexicon. So I think that might make it worth it. I would see if there's some decent courses. I think there is a, is it the STD 320, the magical Roland, the Dimension D, or whatever it's called. Yeah, so, ooh, Tokyo Dreams. God, that's such a good sounding synth. All right, so obviously we have a CS-80. Kind of a reason I wanted this package too. I would have gotten a CS-80 by itself, not a real one, obviously. You know, like a $100,000 synth. Jesus. So what is that? Again, like the price of a teenage engineering product. Fuck, I don't know. But yeah, so let's listen to a few other things. Oh yeah, let me bring up something that I didn't think I would like, but I do. I love pianos, obviously, but I didn't think the piano emulation would be as good as it is, and I would have easily spent $200 on that plugin in itself. I think it's $250 or so. After hearing it and using it, it is amazing. The Piano V. So, it is not sample based as far as I can tell. It is physically modeled, and it sounds fantastic. It has a little bit of a CPU hit, but if you have an M1 or better Mac, it doesn't really matter. In my case, the M4, it does so well with this thing. All right, so let's bring this over here. And this has a good built-in reverb. It has a convolution reverb in it, and one of the settings sounds absolutely phenomenal. I have my pedal plugged in down below. Let me make sure I'm actually touching it, and I'm not hitting my computer under my desk. I have my gaming computer under my desk here. So yeah, okay, pedal is good. So we'll listen to the sustain on this because, damn, as you know, let's do this. And let's just hear. Okay, so the American Grand, which is the default, is pretty middling. I'm not a fan of it. It's obviously going to be a Steinway. I've never been a fan of Steinway pianos. I don't like their resonance and everything. It's just not great. My favorite pianos are Bosendorfers, especially the Imperial Grand. Unfortunately, we don't have an Austrian Grand in here, which would be cool. But German Grands are cool, Japanese Grands, so that's going to be Yamaha. I don't know what the German brand would be in this case. There's only a few left these days, isn't there? I mean, technically Bosendorfer is owned by Yamaha now. So I don't know if their pianos have gotten worse, but I like Japanese Grands, so this will probably be a Yamaha. So let's listen to that. This will be a lot softer. Okay, let me hold down the sustain pedal. All right, so physically modeled, right? So we can do lots of stuff to it. I will pick the German Grand. I'm going to hold sustain really quick. We're also going to put on the soft pedal as well. We also have, it does respond correctly to sostenuto, which is cool. I don't have a three-way, I have a three-way pedal, but it's not compatible with this controller. So let's just do soft all times because, you know. Gorgeous, right? That's a modeled piano. And the cool thing is we can extenuate the sustain pedal noise. You might not be able to hear it. We have key release noises too. And one of the other cool features we have is we have the ability to change the sympathetic resonance. And sympathetic resonance is super simple. It basically means that if you hit a keyboard or a piano, has strings in it, obviously. So if you let one of the strings vibrate, it's going to start vibrating everything else inside of it, especially if it has a lot of velocity to it and it has a lot of energy to give up. You can emulate more of that. So you can make this piano that would never exist in real life because it'll just sustain forever. Listen to this. And as you can see from the back here, we are not really even eating into the CPU. I can chalk that up to the M4 just being unbelievably powerful, or maybe Arturia knows how to program something. So far, I believe to agree with both. I think. Also, one cool feature about this is you can set the response curves to a custom response curve that actually goes you through like a wizard here. You can press it and it'll tell you to hit the small or like the softest you can hit it and so forth. I'm not going to do it right now because I don't want to bore you with it. Oh, there's my response curve I used. I have this special one. Hold on. Yes, as you can see from my playing style. I have a very weird playing style when it comes to using a non-hammer action key bed, so just, yeah, don't make fun of my velocity curve there. Oh, so we haven't even used the convolution reverb that's built into this thing, and there's one of the impulse responses I really like. Well, listen, I think it's convolution reverb. I would guess it is, but yeah. So you can change the miking style. You have classical miking. I like the, let's listen. I like the pop and the classical style. The home recording is okay, but you have a really weird ambience on that one. I don't think, yeah. I'll just use pop. We can add some more stereo width. And then let's bring in a bunch of ambient mic. Oh man, I wish my other pedal set was more compatible because that's ports half damper too. Whatever. I don't even know if this supports half damper. I'm assuming if it's this well modeled, I'm assuming it does. But you can change the key release volume and the hammer volume. Let's turn that way up. Oh yeah, that definitely has hammer. I love it. You can also change the action, so you can change the hammer position and the release time and everything. Hammer position just a little bit. Let's go to the effects, and like I said, let's listen to the reverb I like in this. This one has the factory hall. This is great for ambient piano. So let's turn this up, turn the size all the way up. So without. Let's hear it wet. So yeah. Just so much you can do with that. All right. So speaking of instruments, I didn't think I would really like, but I would actually spend real money on this. Well, it's obviously real money I spent. I don't know what I'm saying with that, but I would have bought it separately if I knew this was that powerful. And now I don't have to because it was part of the collection. Another one of the instruments that are very interesting are the augmented instruments. Specifically, augmented grand piano is pretty cool, but we have that piano, so do we need it? Not really. It's still cool. But the augmented strings. This thing is bizarre, but absolutely cool. Yeah, I think it sounds really good, but so we can do a lot with it. So there's the morph setting. So this controls a big macro in it. And that's basically what this controls is some macros. So let me resize this window because we're missing some of the controls. There we go. Sometimes you have to resize the windows to get the full controls, but then you can go into the full like section of what this can do. This can do some amazing shit. I'm sure this uses some, but like you have so many things you can do. You can do like a violin. Oh, the natural harmonics of the violin in here. I think these are all physically modeled. I could be very wrong. But yeah, so don't let the overall macro settings of this thing like throw you for a loop that this is a super simple instrument. It is not. So yeah, you have... I was going to say I really like the built-in strings in Logic. They're very good, but I think I would use this more. So yeah, it's gorgeous. And there's some, let's see. And we have a few other augmented instruments. Let me just go through them really quick. I'll probably mess with those a lot and then have individual videos on those. But we have the augmented voices. I like this one. This is great for choir sounds if we want to do some radio activity. Just kidding. But we probably could. Yeah, so I mean, we don't really have to add much to this, but yeah, it sounds really cool. And this is, I think this one had convolution reverb built into it. So yeah, this has the convolution. That's why I think the piano also uses a convolution reverb, because you have, I think you have the large space in here, the factory. Yeah, factory hall. So I'm assuming it's the same thing. Yeah, that sounds very similar. All right, so yeah, you have the voices, you have the woodwinds. Let's do that. There's an augmented instrument called Augmented Woodwinds. I love that one. I love them all. Maybe, I don't know if I've tried the brass yet. At least the ones that I've tried I love. So here, let's see. Let's make sure I can see this properly. I can. Also, all of them, like I said, they just have so much you can do to them. Oh, angelic, that one's cool. Dream Dust. I'm usually iffy about using a patch called Dream Anything because usually it'll either sound really cool or they're referring to that stupid somebody playing the whole tone scale, doing that stupid, you know, cheesy. You know what I'm talking about, right? But yeah. It's usually a double-edged sword. Sometimes it's cool, but yeah. Here it's cool. Ethereal additive. So yeah, super complex instruments. That'd be funny if there were strings in this one, because this is winds. No, they don't have a string section. Yeah, wind synth, flutes, and Angelic was under there. All right. Yeah, gorgeous, right? Yeah. So let's go back and let's see what other cool things that we have. Okay, we have a Prophet. We have the Prophet 5 and we have the Prophet VS. VS. Well, let's just do the Prophet 5. Let's get some more analoginess in here. So hold on. That one has some effects going on. I don't much care for the effects that are happening. If we go in here, let's just see if I'm going crazy. No, we do. Oh, much better. God, that was some bad sounding something. Probably the reverb. I'm like, no, the Prophet emulation in here is fantastic. It can't sound that bad, and it doesn't. It's just that patch. Why is that the default patch? Almost all the other default patches are gorgeous. That one's awful. Oh yeah, I like that one. I really do. Let me bring it down an octave. Let's add some extra reverb to it. I guess let's make an init patch here really quick and let's hear the filter and see how close it is. I've had synths with Prophet style filters, obviously, so let's see how close it is. We'll do envelope amount. Okay, so let's do this. Do a release here. Let's see if this cuts the frequency or the low end. Sure does. All right, we have a close enough emulation, don't we? Let's bring in a second oscillator to this. Our second oscillator is just muted, so let's do that. Let's bring it into about 7, so it's about close. There we go. All right, well, it's getting late in the video, so let's just throw in something else before we quit. Let's listen to the Mini Moog simulation, because obviously we have a Mini Moog simulation. You know, what package would be complete without one? There's some other little ones that I really like. The Farfisa organ. I wish that was one of the Farfisa string machines, or, you know, it'd be really cool, a Horner string melody or a Horner string performer string machine. We have the Selena, so that's, or Selena, which is awesome, and it's a very good emulation. I actually like it more than the Behringer real analog one. And we have things. Okay. Let's just do 2 more really quick. So we have the Ensoniq keyboard keypad. But yeah, we have the Ensoniq one. Oh, not all my settings are there. There we go. So yeah, I think Harvest Dawn was cool. No, It was not. I take it back. Oh. Oh, Dark Pad. Dark Pad is fucking magnificent. That's with the built-in effects, so let's turn on some Supermassive. Yeah, so I'm definitely going to use this. I was really interested in the Ensoniq one. All right, let's go to the Mini Moog, since, again, we need a Mini Moog emulation. Yeah, kind of just, the video is getting so long. All right, Mini Moog emulation, make sure the Valhalla is off. And I think we start with a bass, so let me bring this up a little. Hold on. There we go. Yep, bass. Oh, that's really low. Let me turn on the ARP really quick. But yeah, we have a nice Mini Moog emulation. I love it. It has a lot of, just a nice one, I think. Oh, there we go. We have some Moogish style growl. But one thing we can do is we can turn this into a poly mode, so that's cool. So basically we have a memory Moog in that case. Well, kind of. Not really. More reliable, obviously. All right. Yeah, I'm just gonna, so we did that, and one that I found very interesting. We have the Casio CZ synth. So this one takes up a lot of space. I was using the advanced section before, but yeah. CZ strings. I have a Casio one of the what is it? The Casio Tone with the built-in vocal stuff. I kept that because I like the vocal synth engine. But this has CZ strings in that one too, and they don't sound nearly as good as this emulation. I would actually use this, which is surprising. Not surprising. I've always wanted one of the Casio CZ synths, but they were definitely built down to a cost in the day, and the plastics are just really brittle. I looked at one for used at one point, and it had so many cracks in the case. But either way, I mean, it's a digital synth. There's nothing analog about the CZ lineup, so you should be able to emulate it one-to-one like we've been able to with like the DX synths. Yes, the package comes with a DX7. I don't know if I'm going to use it because I really like Dext, but maybe I will use it since I own it now. Actually, let's just look at that really quick. I haven't even opened it. So, and as you can tell, these open pretty damn fast, at least on a Mac with the M4. So let's do the, yeah, DX7. No, I don't want to. We'll do the tutorial. I should be like, I know more than you. Leave me alone. Of course, we have the Rhodes style piano, so that is a classic. Do we have the? Yeah, the harpsichord is awful on a DX7. I owned a DX7 at one point. Yeah, so these are the some of the built-in ones. The Celestia is pretty cool. Let me do this. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so that's what's Supermassive, but we should have built-in effects on this one too. Do we? Of course we do. Oh, what is this shit? Oh, do we have to load them like this? Oh, we have an analog delay. Ooh. Okay, hold on. Oh, it has an LFO. Ooh, LFO. Ooh, you have feedback though. Tone, I mean. Of course you have feedback. It's a delay. Okay, I really don't like that, actually. It's kind of awful. Sorry. I just don't like that one. No reverb. That's fine. No big loss. Unless I'm just missing it here. Maybe it's in one of the others. I don't see reverb. Oh, it's right there. Ooh. It's still not good. Oof, oof. That size parameter is feedback in the delay loop, so it must be like a Schroeder style reverb. Yeah. All right. This is a long ass video. We're 46 minutes in. I think I'm going to call it. I think, at least like I said, I think I said it in the beginning. I believe it's really worth it. So, yeah. And there's just so many instruments you can use. Oh, and you, of course, you have a Korg MS-20. You have the toaster oven of synths, just because of how it looks. This one has some really nice presets. I've owned a MS-20. I've actually owned a few MS-20s. A real one, a knockoff Behringer one, and a real one, but the mini version of it. And yeah, the filter on this sounds pretty good. Puking telephone. Wow. Oh, there we go. There's that filter. Can do some Roiksop shit with this, can't you? Oh yeah, that one's gorgeous. I tried this out the other day just because it said Corgo, and I'm just like, okay. But no, it's cool. The thing is that one by default has the polyphony set to 6. But so yeah, it's a polyphonic MS-20. Did Korg ever make a polyphonic synth that's based around the MS-20's filter? Because I think the PSS or whatever, those were not the big ones. You know which ones I'm talking about, like the 3100. Those were not based on the MS-20 filter, were they? Yeah, I'm not going to mess with it too much, but let's just turn on Supermassive. Let's do an ARP. Yeah. So, gorgeous. Gorgeous. I love it. All right. I'm going to stop it here. This video is getting way too long. Like I said, this was definitely, at least for me, worth the $200 or $300 it is on Black Friday. I think I would have, if I had the demo of this and I played with this before the sale, I would have bought this at the full price. Going to put the disclaimer again, I think I put it at the beginning that I am not getting paid by Arturia to make this video. I paid with this with my own money. I bought it from Sweetwater through their software shop. God, speaking of which, the Arturia download was super painless and easy, but I bought an Air plugin that was on sale for $30 because I didn't want to get my credit card flagged or whatever for using a retailer I've never used before, so I didn't buy it directly through Air. But the process through buying a plugin for an Air plugin for my MPC through Sweetwater was fucking painful. I had to register an account on obviously I have an Akai Pro login so I can buy things directly through no, I take that back. I should have just bought it through them because I bought Jura through them. Damn it. Either way, it was super convoluted. I had to I got a plugin serial number. I had to plug into a third-party site, and then it had to generate a new code that I could then use on the Arturia, not Arturia site, but the Akai site. It was just so bizarre and just so backwards. And the site almost looked like if I was going, luckily I just put it in a serial number, but it was a shady looking site. It was something from like 30 years, 20 years ago, I should say. But yeah, it looks shady. Like it was going to steal my credit card information, kind of shady, but yeah. Anyway, that said, just a ramble on that. But yeah, the Arturia suite I bought directly through Sweetwater, and no issue there. I might get the effects collection, but it's pretty expensive for what you get, especially comparatively. It's almost the same price right now as the V collection was. So yeah. All right, that said, I'm done with this video. I hope this helps somebody out. If you like this kind of content and you aren't subscribed to me, go ahead and subscribe. Give me a thumbs up if you like this kind of content. I like making it, especially since I'm, again, out of the hardware game, but damn, these soft synths have just become so amazing over the last few years. And you get so many of them for a very reasonable price. Yeah. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.